Welcome to episode 196 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen
and Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our virtual book club, where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So, obviously we've been pretty public about the fact that we were really excited to read Brimstone.
Yes.
So we have started it.
Yes.
We even went on a little date last weekend and read it together. Well, we went for breakfast first, where we didn't really read because we were eating breakfast. And then we went to Starbucks and read for a few hours and had some coffees.
Yes. And we coffeed and we co-read.
We did. And if you didn't think we did these things, we sometimes do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're enjoying it. We haven't finished it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tea? Sweet.
I just got a tea delivery. I love when that happens. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so we're both reading it. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I did stop for a bit. I don't really know where it's going.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I'm liking it so far, and I'm hoping that I might be gripped by it a little later, because I found that that's what happened with the first Quicksilver. The first book, Quicksilver.
Yeah, Quicksilver.
Is that, like, I found it not super gripping.
Sorry.
Until we got to location number 3. And that's when it really picked up for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that this book is sort of the same.
Yeah.
Like, not hoping.
Fair.
Like, obviously I would love for it to be gripping from the very first minute and have me not able to put it down. But, like, fact of the matter is, I can put it down right now. And I'm hoping a little bit later, maybe I won't feel that way so much.
Yeah, I feel like there's just certain points in the book that kind of, like, dip a little bit that I've been able to, like, put it down because of.
Yeah.
So I guess the first day I was reading it, I flew on a plane. And this is when I realized that I got to a part, and it's now pretty public, but there's an error in the book.
Yes.
And it just doesn't make sense.
A blatant error.
Yeah. And at first I was like, oh, is there, like, some time issues that I don't really understand that are going on? Like, is there some time jumping in the book that they haven't really explained? No, it was just an error.
Yeah.
Because somebody did reach out to
Callie Harris. Yeah.
And she said that it was caught in editing, but it somehow ended up in the book and that she's devastated.
Yes.
Which is so sad.
Yeah. Imagine, like, working so hard and spending, like, a year of your life working on something only for this to come out. And, like, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton. Like, I've seen a lot of posting about it. I haven't seen a lot of people calling her out, but I am sure that it's happening.
Yeah, I've seen some posts of people being like, well, I've been avoiding a lot of them because I haven't finished the book, but I have seen some posts of people being like, that you don't want to finish the book now because there's too many things happening. And I'm like, how did you get through the first one if this is how you feel? Because, like, I don't know. I felt like there were some discrepancies in the first book, and I was like, if she had a really good editor, these would be caught.
Yeah.
And to be fair, in this book, she kind of explained away some of it by magic and time differences, which I do think that is just fixing a mistake, like fixing a plot hole, which is fine. And I think that, like, I really expected this book to be so much better edited, and then I got to that glaring part and was like, what the fuck?
Well, like, it's probably one of the most anticipated sequels of the year. Mm-hmm. And, like, it is all over Bookstagram, all over Book Talk, this, like, big old thing of Brimstone. It got a highly anticipated, like, release, and, you know, we've been counting down this is actually one of the first times I found a blatant error in a book.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
this
a
is
lot of,
yeah. Like, yeah, sure, there's been a lot of, like, in other books, like, maybe a little inaccuracy, maybe a little, like,
that doesn't really make sense to
me. Or, you know, some sort of, like, maybe a little bit of a plot hole where, like, they forget they mentioned somebody and then they never mention them again or something like that. But this is the most blatant.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most blatant mistake that I think I've ever read in a book. So, for those of you that don't know, who maybe haven't read Brimstone yet, I'm not going to spoil it, but they say that a character is with another character. However, that character is currently off-world.
Yeah, so it's completely impossible.
It is impossible for them to be there.
It's a throwaway line, which was the part that kind of got me. It's a very throwaway line, and, like, you don't even need it, because I wasn't wondering where those I wasn't wondering where that other character was.
No, during that part.
Yeah, and I think, like, Callie even said that, like, you can just take it out and it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't actually impact your understanding of the scene or your understanding of, like, the plot.
Yeah, which is obviously shitty for her. I just, honestly, I feel so bad for her.
I do too. And I hope whoever made the mistake, like, I don't want them to get fired because that's not cool. But, like, I hope that they feel bad.
Yeah.
And I hope that they get a stern talking to.
Yeah, it is really, it's disappointing, and, like, I don't blame her for it.
Well, she pays editors a shit ton of money to catch those mistakes. That is not on her.
This book went the traditional publishing route. Like, the first book was more so, like, she did the cover herself, and that's why, like...
Which apparently a bunch of people are bullying her over and saying that the cover is bad. And I'm like, excuse you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
One thing that I do want to say is the promos that Callie Hart was doing before the book came out, she actually hired actors to do them. Because I think last time we talked about it, we thought it might have been AI.
Yes.
But it was actually actors that she hired to do it. So
interesting.
Just a heads up. So that's super cool.
It is super cool.
It makes sense because, like, you know, it'd be kind of bad form for somebody who writes to then
use AI
for art for the book.
Good point.
So I really respect that she hired actors for it. But that makes me feel even worse that there's a mistake in the book. And there's possibly other ones, but they're, like, less glaringly obvious. But obviously people are going to nitpick now because they found one. Anyway, I feel bad. But when I did see it, I was, like, kind of just crushed because I was, like, I expected so much more from this book because of the traditional publishing route of it.
Yeah.
And... anybody could have read through that book once and realized that made no sense at all.
Yeah. Anybody who was actually paying attention to the plot of the book.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I, as much as anyone, when I'm, like, sometimes when I'm correcting stuff for my students, sometimes, you know, if you are looking for spelling mistakes, you don't 100% look for content. You're looking at the spelling, so you're sort of skimming through it, and maybe you're not taking in exactly what was what was written.
Yeah.
However, out of all the people that I'm sure went through that book with a fine-tooth comb, somebody
had to be looking at the
yeah. Now I did see, and I can't remember if it was you that mentioned it or if I read it online, some saying that, like, was it published out of sequence? Like, or not published, sorry, was it edited out of sequence?
Yeah, were the points of view edited separately.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, maybe that's a thing.
Yeah, it could be.
You were the one who suggested that, right?
No, I think you saw it on Reddit. While you were sitting next to me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember those things. Like, I remember reading it, but I don't remember where I got the information.
Good.
Anyway, but yeah, so, like, that very well could be a possibility, and it could account for it, but you would think somebody would do one last walkthrough when they put everything together.
Yeah. And, like, she's definitely paying them so much more than she did when she went the indie route, and now...
And this is what she gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
I do too.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's our Brimstone update.
Yeah.
Be prepared for more.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I guess we will carry on though with our book for this week. So just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone, and things might get saucy.
Well,
they get something.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's not great.
So we are finishing up Gild by Raven Kennedy. We are reading a little bit more this week than we have in previous weeks. No real reason. We wanted to.
We explained it last week.
We did. So
if you're listening this week, you probably already know that I kind of fucked up the dividing. So here we are.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So we are reading chapter 24 to the end of the book. So last week, Auren was traveling along to the Fifth Kingdom with all the other saddles, and she met her buddy Sail, the guard, and they get snowed in for a bit, and then they keep going, and all the saddles still hate her guts, and it's really bad. But then they end up stopping, and they end up getting attacked by ice pirates. Snow pirates?
Snow pirates, I guess.
Snow pirates, we'll say.
I think that's what they called them.
Anyway. So, yeah. They get attacked by snow pirates, and they, like, make her carriage tip.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
What's his face is missing?
Digby?
Yeah, good job.
But we don't know that yet.
Well, we knew that he wasn't with them.
Yeah,
he went out scouting,
and
he didn't get back.
That's true. So he was sent out on a scouting reconnaissance mission.
So yeah, I guess he could be with the pirates, but
yeah,
maybe he got away.
So I guess in the course of the accident of her carriage flipping, Auren passes out. And
fair. I think she whacks her head off of everything.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. She's very clumsy.
She's clumsy inside of a flipping carriage. I think it flips a few times.
Even
clumsy
still.
bitch.
She's very clumsy. So she regains consciousness after passing out. And obviously she's hurting. She's just been in a carriage accident. So she's obviously got to crawl out. She's like lying on one of the doors. So that means she's got to like stand up and like crawl out the other door. And she can hear fighting outside. And she feels like she has to get out there because she's like, the guards and the other saddles are there. And she can like hear the saddles screaming. And she's like, I have to get out there. And I'm like, why? Stop. Like, what are you?
Stop caring about them. They don't care about you.
But not even that. Like, girl, what do you expect to do? What do you think you can accomplish? How can you turn the tide of the fight?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
It's like, I gotta get out there. And I'm like, no, you don't, bitch. Sit back down.
You can see
like,
everyone
hide
dying.
away.
Yeah.
Better chance of survival if you hide. Like, I'm not saying in every instance everyone should hide away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for Auren, who's literally been in a cage for 10 years, who has no combat training, who has no powers to speak of, like, not useful.
Yep.
She's
Agreed.
not going to be useful in this situation. So, like, just sit yourself down. However, in saying this, before she can even be like, I'm going to get out there, some guy, like, opens the door and sees her and then just grabs her out.
Yeah, I don't really know what she could have done.
No.
Hidden in a compartment of the seat, if they have one.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better idea. If it's possible. And usually they do.
Yeah.
So now she's outside because he hauled her out. But she can't see Sail anywhere, so she's stressed. So the guy is, like, approaching her. And then all of a sudden, Sail, like, comes charging in, I want to say, to the rescue.
Jesus Christ. So sad.
But not at all to the rescue. So, like, he just barges in, but he's also being held by two soldiers, and he's like, don't touch her! And they're, like, holding him at knife point, and they've taken all of his armor, they've stripped it all off, and, like, right now he's only in thin pants and a tunic, and it's, like, a snowstorm, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
And he's, like, been beaten, he's got, like, his face is, like, black and blue, and it's really bad. So, obviously, the soldiers and guards did not win the fight against the pirates.
Yeah.
And Auren sort of knows just from seeing these guys. Like, I guess she looks at what they have on, and for some reason, she's very knowledgeable on local news.
I like it.
Well, okay, so, like, she says she knows that this group calls themselves the Red Raids.
Yeah.
Because they wear all white fur, and they have, like, one red strip, like, below their eyes or something like that, or above their eyes. Like, they wear a strip of red.
I think they wear a bandana over their face.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Kind of like,
a balaclava.
Yeah. I always want to say baklava.
A baklava, like the dessert.
Yes. Yes. I just mix the both of them up all the time.
Very easily done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, how else would you know that if you are an expert on local news?
It's true. Like, yeah, I don't understand why she would know that.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because she's always around when they're talking and they're like, oh, the women don't listen or whatever they think.
Yeah, maybe.
But still, it is convenient that she just knows who these guys are.
That's true. Yeah. So she still has her hood up, which is a miracle. Like, I can't even get my hood to stay up, like, during a windy day, let alone being dragged out of a carriage and, like, it's a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So they put her hood down, see that she's all gold, but they assume that it's painted. Oh, look, this one's painted gold. Like,
why?
They're dumb is what they are.
Yes.
But they know that because she's pretty, the captain will want to see her. And, like, they already know that she's a saddle.
Yeah.
Because why else would a woman be there?
There's no reason.
No, women apparently provide no value.
100% true.
So, Auren and Sail are escorted away together, and Sail just tells her that he's sorry and that this is all his fault. And she's like, no, there is nothing you could have done at all. But, like, he doesn't believe her.
This is when I was like, did he betray her?
Oh. Oh. Well. What a thought.
I'm just suspicious of everyone, and I don't remember what happens.
I don't know if we ever find out who betrayed them at the time.
Yeah, I can't remember, and I'm not quite finished this week yet, but that's just a behind the scenes that you don't need to care about.
Yeah, no, I don't, well, I have finished, and it's not.
We don't find out?
Okay.
Huh, interesting.
So, Auren and Sail are pushed up like a hill, and when they reach the top, they see that there are 3 pirate ships, but they're not floating on water, they're just on the snow. And apparently they get around by being pulled by Fireclaws, which are 10 feet tall, snowy felines with fiery paws. And I'm just like, I want one.
Yeah, but this was the part where I was like, oh, we're like really in a fantasy, because like, yeah, there's magic, but most people don't have it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but also these beasts exist, and I'm like, oh, where are we going with this? Like, what else is gonna show up?
I love how that's where you went with it. My literal only thought was I would like one.
I love it.
I'm like, I want those kittens. Meow, meow. And apparently the Fireclaws are whipped by the pirates. Like, that's how they get them to. And I'm just even more like, let me take one home. And I will love it. Can you imagine, like, if you're cold and it has, like, because they have the ability to, like, snuff out a paw and, like, have it on low, or they could have it on medium or high. So can you imagine if you're really cold?
Yeah.
Like, all it would have to do is just, like, put his little paw near you, or his big paw. And, like, they're 10 feet. Imagine curled up and cuddled into one of them at night. It would be adorable.
It would be great.
You'd be crushed, but you would love every second of it. I say you would be crushed because my cat likes to sleep on top of me every night. So
yeah. You'd have to sleep on top of it.
It wouldn't let that happen.
If it loved you, it would.
So, the pirates are working on stripping all of the stuff. Including the guard bodies. So, like, they're just stripping everything of value from everything. Even down to, like, the carriages. The ones that they can't roll, they're, like, stripping the wheels. They're stripping the gold from it. Like, everything they can, they're taking. And Auren is just searching because they captured some of the guards. And she's also seeing the bodies, and she's just looking for Digby's face. And she doesn't see him.
Yes, sorry, I did jump ahead on that one.
How dare you?
Whoops.
This is unacceptable. So she sees the other saddles. They're over, like, in a line. And the pirates are, like, leering at them and spitting on them. And Auren knows that, like, they're going to be treated like shit on this boat.
Of course.
And then the guy that took her brought her over to line up with them. But she panics in that moment and starts to call for Sail. But obviously they keep bringing her over. And Sail, who is also, like, being brought over to all the other soldiers, guards, he is, like, again, we are in a snowstorm. And these guys are all wearing barely anything, right? They have, like a thin shirt and a thin pair of pants on.
But how was their gold keeping them warm anyway?
But I don't think that's all they had on. I think
they stripped all of their clothes.
Yeah, I just think they stripped everything off.
Fine.
So obviously he is also not in good shape. But she is screaming at him, and, like, the pirates are forcing her over in a line, and she's, like, trying to get away from their grip. But Sail's just yelling at her, telling her that everything will be okay. But, like, she knows it's a lie, and she can see in his face that he also knows it's a lie. So she gets lined up behind the 12 saddles. 12!
He needs them all.
That's so many.
I guess it's 6 and 6. In his kingdom, 6.
I know.
And they need breaks in between, because apparently he's going to be on her. Like, what?
Anyway, so she gets lined up behind the 12 other saddles, and Sail gets knelt with the rest of the guards who are still alive. For now.
Because they're freezing to death, I mean.
They are.
Sorry.
They are, yes. No, they are freezing to death. Polly is the one right next to her, and her clothes are like ripped to shreds, and she's like bawling her face off, and her boobs are out. So Auren just takes off her coat and gives it to her. And at first, Polly's like, "What are you doing?" And then as soon as she realizes that she's putting a coat on her, she's like, "Oh." And I'm just like, ugh, Polly.
I know. It's exhausting.
Mm-hmm. So she asks Polly what she thinks they're going to do with them. And Polly tells her that the Red Raids are known to be brutal and savage. And she thinks they're going to use them up and then sell them off, if they're lucky. So, like, that's the best case scenario?
Great.
And Auren just realizes that, like, this situation is pretty bad. Like, it's pretty dire. And, like, there's no real hope. But, like, she's just standing there. She's not trying to fight anybody. She's not trying to get away. Like, she's just like, yeah, okay. We're being kidnapped and sold again. And I'm like, are you not gonna, like, fight?
Nope.
And, like, I understand she doesn't really have anywhere to go, but, like, even still. Like, you're not gonna fight for your freedom?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we know what time of day it is?
It's evening. It's nighttime.
Okay. Fine. Just curious. I forgot about that tidbit until I got there this
Oh,
time.
did you?
Yeah, because I was like, what the, why? I said that a lot.
Huh. So the longer the pirates take to strip everything, the colder the soldiers are getting, and, like, some of them are dropping from the cold and, like, not getting back up. So the entire time, Sale is there, and he's, like, freezing his little booty off. But he keeps looking at Auren and, like, reassuring her. So, like, they're trying to be helpful to each other. So eventually the captain comes off the ship, and he's an asshole.
Of course.
What's his name? Captain Fade?
Farron?
What?
I don't know. What is his name? Fane.
Fane.
Is that what you said?
I said Fade. That was close.
Okay. Well, I said Farron, so.
So we're both right.
Listen.
So he comes off and he discusses, like, the hall with the quartermaster, who's, like, his second in command. And then he appraises the saddles. And the quartermaster just calls them all whores. But the captain sees them and deduces that they are actually royal saddles. And he tells the men that they will be riding royal saddles tonight.
Of course.
Yeah. So again, these women and men are just there to be used and discarded. So he inspects, the captain then inspects each one. And when he reaches Polly, he makes the other pirates pull the coat off of her so that he can see her boobs. And
of course,
he commands her to look at him, but she refuses. So he assumes she's stuck up and wants to do something about it. So he grabs her hair and he tells her that she isn't a royal saddle anymore. And if he wants her to look at him, then she will. And then she faints. And they just let her fall to the floor.
Yeah. You just think that they would treat them better so that they're around. Like, if she gets frostbite, like, what? I just don't understand.
Yeah, they don't really have a great concept of, like, treating the merchandise well so that,
yeah,
like, they don't seem to...
It lasts longer.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but, like, valid point. They keep referring to them as merchandise and how they're going to use and sell you. But, like, surely if you want to sell them, selling them when they're...
in the best condition.
Yeah, most mentally intact is, like, the best practice to give you the most money. But, hey, what do I know?
Mm-hmm.
So Auren wonders how long it's going to be before Midas expects them and send people looking for them. And she wonders if, like, this whole scenario is a curse from the gods and goddesses because she wanted to leave her cage. So, like, what you said, sort of, I think it was week 1 and week 2. And you were talking about the gods and goddesses and how, like, you weren't sure if that was going to come into play. And this is just another reference to them, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So the captain goes to inspect Auren, and he sees her skin, so he licks his thumb and tries to wipe it off. Yeah, I know. But it doesn't come off. And he realizes who she really is.
I guess it could be fair because apparently the first, like when Midas went over originally, he did paint one of his other saddles to look like her.
Yes. Oh, I agree with the painting thing is a possibility. I just think it's dumb that no one else bothered to check.
Oh, yeah. Like, why do you think that they would have painted her?
Yeah. So he just yells at all the men that they have Midas's gilded whore. And they're all happy. And she finally, like, speaks up to the captain and tells them that Midas will pay whatever ransom this guy wants as long as he doesn't hurt them. So, like, she is trying to bargain for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. But the captain just laughs at that and says he's not going to ransom them. He's going to sell them elsewhere. So, like, essentially saying he doesn't care about, I don't want to say the rules or the law because that feels very strict. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he tells the men to put the word out that they have Midas's whore because lots of people are going to want to buy her. But he also said that the rest of the saddles are going to get divvied up between the men so that they can be entertained, quote unquote, for their hard work. So he also tells the quartermaster that in addition to quote unquote entertaining the men, he wants them put to work to earn their keep to toughen them up, because like the whole idea that they're royal saddles in these guys' minds means they're like prissy, and like when Polly closed her eyes and refused to look at the captain for a minute, he was like, you think you're too good for me, like you're just a prissy saddle, like a royal saddle. So they want to mistreat them. However, he wants Auren brought to his cabin. And,
of course.
Yeah, because why not? And like he just gropes at her, and he is super excited for Midas to find out how he used and sold her. So like he wants to mistreat her just to like sort of put Midas in his place.
Yeah.
So, like, Sale is still over on the ground. Like, other guards have, like, fallen and died just from hypothermia. But he is still there, freezing cold, staring at Auren. And, like, he's watching all of this occur. And as soon as the captain touches her, like, he touches her boob, I think. Sale yells at him like, don't you fucking touch her. Probably not the wisest choice.
Yeah, like what's he gonna do? What's she gonna do?
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate Sale, like he's just doing his best.
Yeah.
However, dude.
Yeah.
My guy.
Man.
So the captain approaches Sale and says, what's your name? And Sale tells him. And also says that Midas would pay more than anyone for Auren. And, like, essentially trying to be like, hey, instead of keeping her and selling her off, you'll make more money if you give her back to Midas.
Yeah.
But that just makes the captain want to keep her even more.
Ugh.
Because he wants to teach Midas a lesson that he can't buy everything.
But he can. And, like, if he were to sell her to somebody else, Midas is just gonna buy her.
Yeah.
So it's like, but he can.
Yeah, regardless. And like,
Yeah.
I also find this guy kind of hypocritical because he's doing like, he ends up doing a lot of shit for money. So like,
Yeah.
you want to be able to buy everything.
Yeah.
So the fact that Midas can, that pisses you off. Like, it seems silly to me.
Agreed.
But then he also adds in to Sale, and he just says, like, I'm gonna fuck her and use her however I see fit. And
of course he, like,
I
of
know,
course he's gonna say that. Like,
always the sexual violence piece is like, ugh.
yeah.
And like, I understand
They are
it kind of in the context because they are essentially royal whores.
Yeah.
Like, that is their job, to have sex. That's their only job. So like, I get it, but it's just so tiring.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. All of the other saddles, that is their life, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is not unexpected.
Yeah. Anyway, so he also says, like, maybe he's gonna take some of her hair and, like, maybe some of her pubic hair and send it to Midas to taunt him. Just so, like, seems like he has a real grudge.
Of course he does.
And then he takes a handful of snow and actually shoves it down Sale's clothes, which is not helpful because Sale is already dying of hypothermia at this point, like, suffering from hypothermia for sure. So, like,
yeah,
putting more cold snow down his clothes is not helpful. And the captain tells him that she is going to be a gilded cum-filled husk by the time he's done with her.
Great.
So kind. And then he just says that it's not going to matter to Sale and he won't care about that because he's going to be dead. And then he just takes his dagger and stabs Sale in the heart. So, like, this character that we have grown to enjoy over the past week and a half-ish, 2 weeks, is now just gone.
Of course.
And I will say that, like, this was unexpected.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't think they would kill off, like, her only friend.
Yeah. Especially since everyone else hates her.
Yeah, but, like, I wonder, like, was it done because she can't have any connections?
Oh. Could be.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we know what happens. You know, there's a lot of focus on Fourth Kingdom, so I feel like for those of us who can make educated guesses, even if you didn't read... What?
Or if you've read it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even if you hadn't read it before...
Yeah.
I think you could make an educated guess that because there is such a stress on the Fourth Kingdom...
Yeah.
We can safely assume that at some point Auren will get there.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that includes Midas, maybe, even though all we've done is talk about how many red flags Midas has, maybe the book is her and Midas taking on the world and they end up king and queen of Araya. Like, who knows? I mean,
maybe.
We know. But, like, if you're just reading this book for the first time, you don't know. But because there is such a focus on Fourth Kingdom, we can make an educated guess that she ends up there at some point for some reason.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously going to be, like, a battle or some shit, too.
Right. So what I mean is, like, maybe she can't have any connections back to Sixth Kingdom. You know what I mean? Yeah. She has to be free to be able to go where she needs to go for the plot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, anyway, Auren screams, obviously, and she's trying to run for Sale, but a pirate, like, grabs her and won't let her leave the line of saddles. And she's just, like, screaming her head off. And I don't know why, but the pirate lets go of her for some reason. And... she crawls over to Sale and, like, just holds him as he dies. And she just tells him that he's okay over and over and over again. And, like, the pirates are all laughing at his death and just order Auren to get on the ship. And obviously she's devastated. But she starts to, like, lose her mind because they start, like, mistreating Sale's body and kicking it and stuff. So she, like yells at them not to fucking touch him or something like that. So the quartermaster, like, shoves a gag in her mouth and then, like, shoves her up on deck. Another saddle named Mist gives her a dirty look and tells her to watch it. And I'm just like, is this necessary? Like, you literally just saw how this guard's death affected her and you still have to be a bitch. I understand you're scared too. I get it. But, like, is that necessary? Like, to me, this doesn't seem like something real. Like, that doesn't seem like something someone would do.
Yeah.
And that...
Like, it pisses me. It's girls hating girls.
For girls, like, for just no reason.
Yeah. Let me just... I'm sure I could have Googled this. Yeah, it came out in 2020.
Okay.
Like, we were past girls hating girls at that time.
We should have been,
what I
yes,
mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it wasn't as vocal as it is now, but...
Yeah, like...
It was, like, the early 2000s and the late 90s, and, like, that I feel like it was the I'm not like other girls moment.
Yes.
And I really thought we were past that.
Yeah, I'm just...
Or hoped.
I'm just, like... And again, maybe it is, like... Maybe I just need to stop reading books that came out before, like, the past couple of years. But in saying that, I know that books that are coming out now still have that sort of a trope.
Yeah, well, like, not to go back to Brimstone, but Quicksilver, the only female warrior character, was huge bitch for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's like... Why did we make it her? You could have easily made it one of the guys.
Yep.
Why does she have to be the bitch?
Yeah. Same thing. Remember that whole storyline in Iron Flame? With the wyvern, right? Not the wyvern. The griffin riding girl. Cat. I don't remember her name. Yeah, Cat. And remember how...
name.
Same name.
It's okay.
But, like... She was a huge, like, he's my man. Like,
yeah.
Can we just get past these petty, like, illustrating these petty girl fights and, like, these girl-on-girl fights for no reason sort of a shit? Life is hard enough. We don't need it.
And, like, I feel like Iron Flame, maybe she got some kickback on it because people hate it now.
Yeah.
But she did kind of backpedal.
She did. I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. She backpedaled Nonic Storm.
Yeah.
But, like, it reminds me of those, and we've talked about them before, how you get all those, I don't even know what to call them, those movies, quote unquote.
Movie reels.
that are, like, shot with a cell phone, I feel like. Yeah. They're, like, shot in, a vertical, not pitch.
Yeah.
In the vertical... And they're, like, really terrible.
Portrait, as opposed to landscape.
Yes, yeah. So they're filmed in portrait mode, and, like, you get them on those, all those movie film apps that make you, like, pay for coins and stuff like that. So I always get reels for them. Mm-hmm. And the girls, there's always a bitchy girl in there that's like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. I'm going to show you that you don't belong here. And then, like, trying to hit them or, like, mistreat them. And then the love interest comes on and it's like, don't you dare treat her that way. And then she's like, oh my God, whoever, you're so rich, handsome, powerful. Blah. And then they run away. And then as soon as the girl's alone again, the girl comes back, is like, how dare you be here? You shouldn't be. And it's just like a repeat. Yeah. And it's literally the same thing over and over again. And I'm just like, what is the girl's motivation? Like, you can't hate someone that much for no reason.
No, I think it's all plot-based. Because it's like, we gotta show that her life sucks. And then it's like, but why this way?
Yeah.
Why is it always this way?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, I guess. Like,
Sorry, guys.
I'm so over it, but I'm also, like, I'm so exhausted that we continuously have to come back to it.
Yeah. It's the same with, like, rape being the motivator for the bad guys.
Yes.
It just, to me, feels like it's lazy.
Yes.
And it's overused. And especially I don't mind, like, I care more about this one because I am a woman and I did grow up in a time of I'm not like other girls and, like, all of that shit. So I feel like we're moving past that, and I hate seeing it in books because I don't want people to be reading them and be like, oh, that's how it is. It's like, no, that's not.
No, and it shouldn't be how it is, right? Like,
yeah.
You should be able to write conflict that is not either of those things.
Yeah.
You should be able to come up with another reason for the conflict.
Yep.
Anyway, so obviously this girl, like, bumps her, tells her to watch it, and Auren just, like, loses her mind. And she's just so pissed that she uses her ribbons and, like, pushes Mist. And I'm just trying to think about how the ribbons even work. Like, she's got her big wool dress on. Are there slits built into all of her clothes?
Well, when we first heard about her clothes, she said that none of her clothes has any backs. So the ribbons just stick out. But I can't imagine...
She's got, like, a woolen dress on for her to be outside.
Yeah. I can't imagine the back is out of that, but it must be. Or, like, I just think that it wasn't thought out.
I guess. So, anyway, so she uses her ribbons and pushes Mist. And then Mist, like, sort of counters back. And then Rissa is trying to, like, Rissa gets in between. She's like, stop it. Like, this is going to be hard enough. We don't need to be attacking each other. But Mist just yells that this is all Auren's fault because she heard the soldiers say to protect the king's favored. And so Mist says, like, when everything comes down to it, they're going to go protect her. They're going to leave us to rot and protect her. And then she's like, look at all the special treatment she got on the trip. Like, oh, we have to travel slowly because the king's favored wants to ride the horse and not in the carriage. We have to rest for the night because the king's favored is tired. We need to, like, the king's favorite gets a tent to herself. We have to, don't eat too much because the king's favorite has to eat some. So, like, they all see Auren receiving special treatment. But I also hate this. She's like, it's all her fault. No, you blame Midas for that.
100%.
Midas is the one giving her the treatment. She just receives it. So how is any of that her fault?
Yeah.
And then she's annoyed because she says Midas is going to come for her and save her, but leave the rest of us like we're all dead meat, essentially. So it just the premise, like, I understand the need to make her feel isolated, but it just really bothers me that this is how you do it.
Yeah, like, why do we even need the other saddles? Like, it's easy enough for the soldiers to be like, we can't talk to her, she's our charge, like, we shouldn't be making friends with her. Like Digby.
Yeah.
Like, he's not her friend. So why do we need, like, it's just to create jealousy and conflict, and I hate it.
Yeah. So Rissa, like, sort of like, all the saddles are obviously glaring at Auren, and they all agree with Mist. But Rissa just rallies them and reminds them that they are professionals, and they know how to work a room, and they need to do that to survive. So the ships go to leave, and Auren looks overboard for Sail's body, and she can see where he died and see, like, the blood stain on the snow, but she can't see his body anywhere. And she looks towards the pirates and sees that they're all gathered around something and laughing, and then she finally sees that they actually took Sail's body and hoisted it and, like, secured it to a pole so that their ship finally has a sail, which is pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
And Auren just looks at it and vomits all over the ship. And I'm like, she picked that name. The author picked that name for this.
For this moment.
For this moment.
Yeah.
For the pun. And But, like, and people did sort of, I think that was one of the key moments of this book for a lot of people, of being like, even understanding Sail's death, why was this in there? Like, poor Sail was too pure for this world. He didn't need to go through all that.
Well, yeah. It's like, are we just including this to show how bad the pirates are? Like, we can already tell.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need this.
Yeah. Anyway, so the pirates, like, leave the saddles alone for a little while so that they can, like, get the ship underway. So the whole time, Auren stays, like, near the pole, just staring at Sail's body. And she, like, doesn't take her eyes off of him, and she is slowly working herself up to get angrier and angrier and angrier. And she just talks herself up so much, she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter that I am the only woman against a ship full of men. And it doesn't matter that I'm vulnerable, because Sail was my friend, and that is not okay. And, like, that's what she keeps thinking as she moves towards the captain. And I'm like, is she going to kill him?
I know.
And, like, no one even takes notice of her. And I'm like, you have an entirely gold person walking around the ship and you don't even notice? And, like, I guess they all think that the saddles aren't dangerous, so they're just letting them wander about.
I guess.
So,
idiots.
I guess she doesn't walk that close to the captain. Instead, she just approaches, like, really close to the pole. Her ribbons sort of take on a life of their own, and they stretch out, and she uses her ribbons to, like, yank and pull and even cut the ropes that are holding him up. And that shocks me because I didn't realize they were sharp.
They can make themselves sharp.
Of course they can. So a pirate, like, comes over and tries to stop her, but one of her ribbons just, like, slices him right down the arm, and he just stops and steps back. So eventually the captain comes over, and he manages to get her around the stomach and asks her what the fuck she's doing. But her ribbons manage to cut Sail down so that his body, like, comes down
off
before the captain can stop her.
Yes.
So his body lands on, and it actually lands on Auren. And again, she uses her ribbons to, like, wrap him up. And she keeps 2 extras.
It's like, oh my god, Spider-Man.
Yes, Doc
the
Ock.
Octopussy guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Octopussy guy.
I did say that. Yeah.
So yeah, so, like, I guess she holds 2 of her ribbons towards the captain so that he doesn't come any closer to her, and then she uses the rest to, like, pull Sail across the deck. And the captain is looking, like, murderous at her for essentially, like, defying his order. But, like, Auren doesn't care. She's like, I'm gonna get punished for this, but, like, Sail was my friend, and he doesn't deserve that fate of his body being up there and just laughed at and mocked and, you know, being used. So she gradually pulls Sail's body over to the side, and she has to pull it up over to get it over. But it's obviously exhausting, and he's like a big burly soldier, and she's this weak little girl, and she's just annoyed with herself because she's let herself become weak and complacent living in her cage.
I'm glad that she sees it, but it's also, like, so classic every book that we've ever read of, like, I'm so tiny and weak.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to do a montage of getting strong.
Like, next time, ask Midas to put some, like, gym equipment in your cage.
Yeah.
Please. So she is, like, begging the saddles to help her. and she's making eye contact with Polly, and like Polly is there wearing her coat, but Polly like doesn't help. She also begs Rissa, who also doesn't help, and then she tries to make eye contact with the Roche, whatever, who's like
the
one guy, but he doesn't even make eye contact with her. He just immediately looks away. And like, she is so disappointed in all of them because she's like, I am trying to help a guard. Like, you can, because she's like thinking that they hate her and believe her to be an outsider so much that they won't help her with this, even though she's trying to help someone that was kind to all of them, who guarded all of them. They're just like, they won't help because it's her. They're not looking above her and realizing it's him.
Yeah.
So she tries again to do it herself. And the captain is sort of approaching her. And he's mocking her and calling her a puppet. He's like, look, boys, we got a puppet with her own strings. And, like, she is still trying to block it out, trying to push Sail overboard, but the captain is getting closer. And, like, her two ribbons have been holding him at bay. And, like, it seems like they work independently of each other, but almost like they have a certain level of independence. Like, she doesn't have to actively think about...
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's magic, but she has commented that they're kind of like limbs.
Yes, I think she can control each of them independently, but there's also a level of, I think, autonomous movement. Like, she can just, maybe, in my brain, she can give them an order, and they can just do that.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have to actively be, like, if she's trying to push Sail over the body, she doesn't also have to be like, oh, okay, but I gotta keep my eye on my back with the ribbons. Like, I think she's like, okay, ribbons, you keep him back, and so they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So she has those two ribbons still holding the captain at bay, but she's like, even with the other 22 ribbons and her arms, she cannot lift him over. So she's like, I need those other two ribbons, even though it'll make her defenseless. Mm-hmm. So she decides, okay, I'm going to use them. So she stops protecting herself and wraps those two more over Sail, lifts him up, and pushes him overboard. So he's quote unquote free.
Yeah.
Even though he's dead. So the captain then grabs her ribbons and sort of pulls them back, like almost the way you would for hair. And he makes fun of her because he thought she was going to jump too and quote unquote couldn't.
Yeah, stupid. But obviously this is what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot.
But he thought that her intention was to throw Sail's body off and then jump after her. But
why?
I don't.
So that she could die in the snow?
Yeah.
Like, so stupid.
I know, it is stupid. But she's like, in thinking to herself, that was not my intention.
Yeah.
And then she tells him that he can no longer disrespect Sail's body, like, anymore. So the captain's like, okay, fine, I'll just have to disrespect yours.
Of course.
Yeah. And, like, she's just so weak from hauling Sail's body across the ship that she can't even fight back. And she just promises herself that if she survives the pirates, she's not going to let herself become weak again. And I'm like, thank God. Like,
yes.
And then she's wondering if Digby got away or if he's dead, but she can't even think about the concept of Digby being dead. So she's just like, nope, I'm going to focus on him being alive. So the captain is shoving her, and he still has a hold of her ribbons, and he's shoving her towards his chamber. And she's struggling because she knows that bad things are going to happen in there. But, like, so she keeps struggling.
Yeah.
So he's got her, like, pinned to the door, and he's trying to, like, use his key to to unlock it. And then a hawk lands on the quartermaster's arm. And the quartermaster says, Captain, we have a hawk. And so the hawk has a message on its leg. And so he brings it over to the captain. And the captain reads the message. And he says, and he doesn't say who sent it. He doesn't say what it says. He just says, he just tells the quartermaster that they don't need to send a reply, because I guess the quartermaster's like, should we send a reply? And the guy's like, no. They, quote unquote, will be here before the Hawk can even deliver it. So whoever is coming is very close.
Exciting.
And he also tells the quartermaster to get the saddles in the kitchen to have dinner ready within the hour. And then he also asks him for a sash. So, like, the quartermaster had this weird white sash on. And he uses it to bind Auren's ribbons around her body. So, like, I don't know if he just, like, lets them, like, rest flat against her back and just uses the sash to, like, bind her torso almost. Yeah. I don't know. So she can't really have free range of movement with him. And then he just ties all the ends together in knots.
Yeah, and throughout this whole rest of the book, she's slowly untying knots. And I'm like, how long did he stay there tying these knots? Because, like, she's like, ooh, I got some movement. Ooh. Yeah. And I'm like, how did he just, like, braid the, like, well, I guess, did he spend an hour doing it?
No, but I guess in his I don't want to say his defense because he's a shitty person, but, like, he owns sailboats, so, like, you get pretty.
Oh, he might know good knots.
Yeah, you're pretty proficient at knots when you own boats.
But it doesn't have any sails.
But it doesn't matter. You still, like, anchors and, like, there's still rigging everywhere. Like,
do you anchor in snow?
I don't know. I'm sure
they're being dragged. It's kind of,
yeah, but I feel like if you're on ice,
kind of feels like a sled.
I feel like if you were on ice, you would still. But if it's a giant ship, you would still need an anchor. And maybe it can converge.
Stop it.
Maybe it can converge maybe it can transfer from snow to water. Like, we don't really know.
No, I just don't really know why it's a ship and why we didn't just say a giant sled. Because, like,
I guess because you want to pick.
If the bottom's clearly not like a ship,
oh yeah,
or it would tip over.
But, like, maybe is the snow so deep that it does rest
in the snow?
Yeah.
But then if the snow ever gets hard, they can't go anywhere.
But that's why they have the fire paws to soften it as they go.
Yeah, but that's not how that works. Because if you go over snow, it hardens. Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't think much thought was put into.
No.
I think maybe we might be overthinking it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, so after Captain Fane, it is Fane, right? Fane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
He tells the quartermaster, and he says, if any of the saddles disobey in any way, to have them stripped, whipped, and then tossed overboard.
Great.
And I'm like, surely them living with the pain of being stripped and whipped and, like, humiliated and degraded would be better than just immediately killing them. Like,
yeah, and there's so many men on board. Like, why are you getting rid of any woman?
Yeah. It just seems like there are so many worse punishments that you could dole out. Not that I want you to, because we literally just finished.
What are you trying to say?
We literally just talked about how awful and how sick of, like, sexual assault, like, behaviors that we are.
Yeah.
And now we're like, there are worse ways to punish someone
than death. Sorry.
So, like, he was obviously just about to degrade Auren and, like, disrespect her body. But now that they have these visitors coming, it sort of has given her a reprieve. Mm-hmm. So, like, she's safe for now. No sexual assault. Yay.
Yay.
Ugh. So, the quartermaster sort of, like, I guess the captain walks away and goes back to where he was before. And the quartermaster just tells her not to try anything, especially with her ribbons, or he'll slice them off. Which I thought was an interesting tidbit there.
Yeah.
I can't really get into why.
No, but it is, yeah.
It is an interesting threat.
It is.
Although, like, the ribbons are all knotted up, so, like, what's she supposed to do with them?
I guess if she just tries anything at all.
I guess.
Not that she can, because she's weak.
Mm-hmm. So he leads all the saddles into the kitchen and tells the cook, like, what's up, that these are your helpers. We need dinner in an hour. And he just warns everyone that the cook is actually the meanest pirate on the boat. And so essentially they're all terrified.
Great, of course.
And it's like, why do you want them, like, you want them working in the kitchen, but none of them know how to work in a kitchen. They're royal saddles. Yeah. They've had everything handed to them on silver platters. Like.
Well, like, that's like, I don't know. You might not have even noted it because it's just a small detail, but it was just like, make some bread or make some, like.
Biscuits, I think.
Biscuits. And it's like, they have less than an hour to make the food. They've already done, like, this is at least 45 minutes into their preparing stuff, and you're asking someone to make biscuits? You've planned your time all wrong.
Well, I guess the asking about dinner was very much a last minute thing anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Rissa manages to take charge of the saddles. Like, she's very take charge.
Yeah.
And they all get to work. And Auren knows that whoever is coming is not a good thing because, like, this is the reaction that everybody has. But she's still grateful that whoever it was interrupted the captain, even though she knows it's probably going to be worse.
Yeah.
So she spends the time in the kitchen working, but, like, secretly she's trying to untie her ribbons so that she can defend herself when the captain eventually attacks her.
Yeah.
So they cook for an hour and then they set the table. And, like, they did it. They cooked in an hour for that many people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not realistic, but it's fine. I'll accept it. So on their way back to the kitchen after setting the tables, all the pirates are sort of standing on ceremony waiting for the guests. So they do the same. And Auren takes the time, like, since nobody is paying attention to her, she really is starting to untie her ribbons. Like, she's got her hands behind her back. She's really trying to release them. So the visitors they, like, walk up the gangplank and they get on the ship. And they are wearing black armor with a twisted tree emblem in the middle. And
interesting.
Yes, because Auren knows that symbol. She knows what that emblem means and knows that the soldiers are from the Fourth Kingdom. So King Rot's kingdom. And there are 12 of them. And then the 13th soldier comes up. And he is different. So he's got all these spikes on his armor. And he's huge. Like, obviously, he's going to be like 6 or 7 feet tall. And Auren immediately recognizes him as a fae. Mm-hmm. And I actually sort of forgot this characteristic of him.
I forgot that fae were a thing in this world.
I didn't. I can't say why, but I didn't forget about that. But I forgot that it was a characteristic of him.
Gotcha.
So then we get a history lesson. So apparently, 1,000 years ago, there weren't 6 kingdoms in Auren. There were 7. The 7th kingdom was called Lemuria. They were throwing names out in the section that I found confusing. Or no, I don't think it. No, because the 7th kingdom doesn't have a name. It's just the 7th kingdom. No, okay, I figured it out. I'm wrong. So, in the 7th kingdom, at the edge of it, there was a bridge. That bridge led to Lemuria. The only thing is, Lemuria or whatever, no one exactly knows what it is or where it leads. Like, It was just a bridge that, like, led through time and space, essentially. So, the 7th Kingdom was super had a ton of scholars, and they were very intelligent. So they kept sending hundreds of people across the bridge to try and figure out what's on the other side or what it represents. But nobody ever came back because they had to walk. It was like walking through time and space. So, like, nobody ever saw any of these hundreds of people again. So one day, a woman walks back over the bridge into Seventh Kingdom, which is unheard of because no one ever makes it. No one ever makes it across the bridge.
Yeah.
But she comes back with a story. She had stowed away, essentially, when her father had left across the bridge. She had followed him. And she had followed him through time and space, determined to go with him. And essentially, she had done what no one else could. She walked the bridge until I don't know if she, like, fell off of it or jumped off of it or found, like, a separation or found somewhere to exit. But she found an exit and found a land of magic. And it was the land of Auren, the land of the Fae. And her name was Sarah Turley. So when she got to the land of the Fae, she was a child, and the Fae took her in and raised her. But apparently she never forgot about her home of Auren. And when she was 19, she fell in love with a Fae prince, and they loved each other so much, he gave her a gift for their marriage. He bound their lands. He found the thread to Auren and tugged on it so that they could use the bridge to just travel between the lands. And, like, so that they were close together.
Interesting.
Yes. And apparently for hundreds of years they coexisted. And even now, that's why Auren has magic in it. Because, like, the Fae crossed over, like, there was breeding between Fae and human, and some Fae moved there. Like, it was, an exchange of cultures, right?
Yeah.
However, magic is now dying out because the Fae no longer come into, people don't cross over into Auren, and people from Auren don't come over to Auren. And that's because the Fae betrayed Auren 300 years ago. Apparently, a king hated the idea of Fae mingling with quote-unquote lesser beings, so he snapped the thread connecting the bridge. So that caused that, like, sort of influx of magic caused Seventh Kingdom to entirely disappear. And then also the bridge crumbled. So now, there's no Seventh Kingdom, there's no bridge, there are no Fae, and according to Auren, there's no peace. At least as far as people know. Like, peace between Fae and humans. Even though they don't have access to each other anymore. They are concerned that, like, the Fae could come at any time and like, wage war on them.
Yeah.
So.
It's an interesting throw in at this point in the book to just be like,
oh, and Fae.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess the real issue is that Seventh Kingdom got destroyed.
I guess.
Like, that's the betrayal. Like,
I think so.
And people could be on either side.
Yeah, I think that's. And, like, yeah,
but, like, it
was done with no warning, I think, was a problem.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't seem like it was, doesn't seem like they killed everyone in Seventh intentionally. Not that makes much of a difference after you kill a bunch of people. But, like, they wanted to sever it. They didn't necessarily want to attack one of the kingdoms. So it is a bit, I don't know. I don't think they're going to come back and attack them unless that's literally in the plot of one of the books.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's a valid point. Like, you're right. They didn't do it. I don't think it was done intentionally. Now, we don't know.
No.
But.
It's funny, though, that the other guy, like, pulled them closer together and it had no impact on anything. Like, did he accidentally crush something in the in-between or something? Like,
very well could have.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting, and honestly, I don't remember anything about it coming up in the next two books that I read.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, I got nothing.
I'm sure more stuff comes up, because, like, you're not going to bring up Fae that have destroyed the bridge if they're not going to come back.
That's a good point.
I assume. Who knows? Anyway. So, Auren thinks that she thought that the accounts of Faye... No, not of Faye. Just distracted. The accounts about the commander were exaggerated, but seeing him and knowing people call him Rip because he rips people's heads off, she's sure that he's more Faye than anyone she's ever seen in Auren.
Oh.
So he has spikes running down his spine, and they kind of like curve longer on the top and then curve in closer on the bottom.
Is the expect, like, are we assuming that the spikes are like protruding from his skin, or are they just adornments on his armor?
Just wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because I did read this part and I didn't remember that.
Okay. And he has spikes on his forearms, and she knows that they're real, even though all of the accounts say that they're part of his armor.
Oh.
Yeah. From this distance, she knows. How? I don't know. But she knows that they're real. Is it a magic knows magic thing? Like calls to like.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Which I mock that saying because I just don't understand what it means. But yeah, so I don't know. But she's sure that they're real for some reason. He's wearing a helmet, and she's heard multiple rumors that he has horns, that he has face scars, that his red-eyed stare can kill.
Oh.
And she doesn't want to know which one of them is true. And like, you know, want to know what's true is probably going to be that he's super handsome. That's what's going to be true.
I mean, isn't he super handsome? Hasn't she just told us that already? Or no?
Not, well, she hasn't seen his face, so she's expecting him to have horns and red eyes, so.
Oh, good.
Maybe that'd take away from his handsomeness?
No.
Don't know. I don't think so. Captain Fane says to Rip that he's far from 4, and his message was unexpected. And Rip says he's not usually this far north. And Fane says that he had a tip, and that's why he's here. And it paid off. And I'm just like, who?
I know. And I don't remember this ever getting resolved either.
And maybe it's in a different book.
Yeah, well, not one that we read.
No, but it seems like we should know by now.
Yes.
But maybe, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't remember ever knowing, but maybe that's why I'm so sure that somebody close to her betrayed her. Because I kept being like, I think Digby's bad. And then I was like, I think Sale's bad. Maybe I just remember that somebody tipped them off and I don't know who. So I was like, I'll blame everyone.
Yeah, because I can't imagine, like, okay, I can imagine it being one of the Saddles because they hate her guts. But
they're fucked over too.
Oh my god, could it have been the Queen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because there was a very big point of saying that the Queen thought that she already went. Mm-hmm. And then of the Queen seeing her as she was walking out and like glaring at her. You're so smart.
Sometimes.
I wonder if they didn't tell us because they assumed we would have gathered that. Like, why have that? I think we even mentioned it when we were reading that scene. We were like, why did they put the scene in here of the Queen looking at her just to be bitchy?
Yeah. So,
yeah, that would make sense. Good job. I'm going to take that as fact, and I'm probably not going to reread the other books.
It's just, that's canon now.
It's canon now. Rip asks Fane if the tip had anything to do with the dozen messenger hawks he sent out. And Fane asks how Rip knows about them. And Rip... Some very loud vehicles around
there. There are some very loud vehicles.
Anyway, Rip pulls out a message, and then 11 soldiers behind him pull out 11 more messages. So... that's all of the messages. And then Rip throws some money to Quarter to pay for the hawks. And I'm like, he killed 12 hawks?
Did he kill them? I just thought he intercepted them. Also, how amazing would it be to have messenger hawks? Not messenger pigeons.
It'd be very cool. I do love pigeons, though.
But they're not better than hawks.
No, but we fucked them over, and I feel bad for them. So yeah. I assume he must have killed them or taken them for himself, because he throws the money and says that this is for the hawks. So, like, it sounds like he killed them. Maybe later on in the next book we realize that he just took them, but... Fane says that that's an act of war.
Oh.
But Rip isn't worried about it. He just doesn't give a fuck. And says that he's going to help Fane and buy all of the people that he's trying to sell. And obviously Fane isn't sure because he's like, I planned on taking them to many different places with many buyers and not selling them all to one person. Like, I'm not giving you a deal. And he asks why Rip wants to buy them all. And he says that it's between Midas and Ravenger. And Fane says that he was planning on making more money, basically. And that his men also expected some time with the whores.
Ew.
Ugh. But Rip isn't worried at all about anything that he's saying. And he just says that they're going to figure it out. And Rip kind of just, like, looks around and he, like, locks eyes with Auren. And she's worried about being taken by him. She's like, how is he going to be any better than the pirates? He's literally... He left dead soldiers to rot outside of the kingdom because he's mad at Midas. So, like, not a great person. So then Fane just says that they'll have a meal and come to an agreement after that. And Rip asks to hear about last night. And Fane says that when Midas finds out that Rip's king has his soldiers and whores, he'll lose his head. And Rip says he's counting on it. Which is kind of funny. Auren is... I guess all of the saddles are starting to serve. But Auren is stopped from, like, walking out to serve them. And has to put all of her stuff on Rhys's tray. And Rhys is just like, hey, it's cool. I'm best kind. But Auren realizes that the captain doesn't want the commander to see her because he's planning to keep her for himself because he's disgusting. Yeah. She looks over and she can see that, like, Fane and Rip are talking and Rip has his helmet off, but she can't actually see his face because he's turned or something. But she can tell that he doesn't have horns. That's something. So she decides to go back to the kitchen, and her guard follows her there, and Cook just throws a rag at her and tells her to start cleaning. And she does, but while she's cleaning, she works on loosening her ribbons and the knots in them. She starts to make some headway. This is a common theme for the entire next part of this. Mm-hmm. She's trying to untie them, makes a bit of headway, blah, 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 blah. Polly comes in then and says that they want more ale. And Auren helps her get it, and Polly asks if she can use her ribbons to escape, but she says that they're knotted. And Polly just, like, looks disappointed. And it's like, what? Even if she did escape, she wouldn't take you because you're being a fucking bitch. Yep. The only person she'd take is Rissa? Why do I not remember how to say her name?
Yeah, you call her Risa, and I call her Rissa.
Well, that's probably why I was confused with how to say her name, because we've been saying different things the entire book. Yeah. Whatever.
I love that for us.
Yeah. And I didn't listen to the audiobook of this one, so I have no fucking idea.
Oh, dear.
So Polly then says that she needs some help to bring the ale up, and Auren says that she can take some, but she can't go in. And she's like, fine, I'll get someone to come get it. So she goes up and she watches Polly plaster on a smile and walk in, and she's impressed again by, like, the professionalism and the, like, masking of the saddles.
Like, they know that they are going to be assaulted, and they're trying to, like, they're still trying to make the pirates have a good time.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of funny in a second because Risa comes to take the ale from Auren, and Auren just comments that they drink a lot. And Risa says that's good for them because maybe all the men will just pass out later and they'll have less to deal with. So, like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So then, of course, Mist comes over and says that it's typical that the favored isn't working and asks if she can at least take the dirty dishes. And Auren tries to tell her not to be angry at her and save it for the men. But Mist says, as if you care, and shoves dirty dishes into Auren's arms. I'm like, what do you mean? She's also kidnapped. Like, she's probably more screwed than the rest of you because of how valuable she is to Midas.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand.
I know. It really bothers me how much hate they have for her for no reason. Like, again,
right?
It's not up to her how Midas treats her.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't understand why they all, like, hate her as much as they do, like, when it literally has nothing to do with her.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't get it. In the kitchen, she's washing dishes and she's working on untying her knots. Her guard tells her then to come with him and to stay close and to shut up. And they go upstairs because he wants to know what's going on. And the saddles are all lined up, but she's, like, still hidden. And she wishes that Midas was here, but she knows he isn't coming because he doesn't even know she's in trouble. And by the time he finds out, it'll be too late. And she wonders if she should just run into the blizzard and, I guess, die, because I can't imagine she thinks she'd actually get somewhere. But she thinks that might be better than these two options of either the pirates or Fourth's army.
Yeah.
And she thinks, like, even though she knows the saddles hate her, she doesn't want to split up from them. So she keeps working on her knots. And Fane and Rip are chatting, and the captain nods, and she assumes that means that they struck a deal. And one of Rip's men brings a chest of gold over, and Fane says that he has a deal and tries to take it, but the soldiers hold on to it, and Rip says he wants his part. And Fane agrees and says someone will bring him to the other ships where the men and horses are, and then they let Fane take the chest. So Rip says the amount they agreed on is for all of Midas's people. And Fane is confused, but Rip just says that includes her. Obviously talking about Auren.
Mm.
And Auren knew all along it was going to be her. Like, of course.
Yeah.
So Fane just says no, and that she isn't for sale because he's keeping her. But Rip says that he said all. So
they're at a standstill.
Yeah, it's like you need to think of the words you're saying when you're making a deal.
Very Faye-like of him.
It is very Faye-like. And Rip says that Midas's favored is coming with him. And Fane's just like, what if I refuse? And Rip says that he won't like what happens, but he's welcome to. So Fane asks how he knew about her. I'm like, because he fucking saw her. Why do we need to have... But Rip says Fane had his tips, and so did he. So I'm like...
Who else?
Did the queen reach out to Fourth as well, like, and tell them?
Who else is...
So that just to get her gone?
Who else is, like, tipping these people off?
It could all be the queen. I've just jumped onto your theory, and I'm just like... This is the only option. She told everyone. She hedged her bets so that at least someone would take her out. So obviously Fane agrees because that's the deal that was made, and orders Quarter to take Rip to the other boats to see the horses and the men and the soldiers, whatever, so that the saddles aren't left in the cold. You're like, he doesn't give a fuck. But Rip agrees, but says he'll be leaving on the hour, so they don't have a whole lot of time. And then Fane orders the gold to his room and the saddles to the dining hall so that they don't jump off the boat and kill themselves, I guess. I'm like, Fair. But on his way, Fane grabs Auren and Risa and says he'll be damned if he doesn't enjoy her first. He went through a lot of trouble to get here on time, and he's earned a taste. Auren is pissed because she keeps being taken, and this keeps happening to her, and men are constantly awful.
Yep.
And she looks up to the sky, but there are no stars because she thinks the stars are goddesses. And she thinks there never are any stars when she's being stolen away. And she won't be rescued. So,
she is really, like, she's lost hope.
Yes. Yes, she has. He brings them to his quarters and locks the doors. And she just, like, goes in and she focuses on the large window that's ceiling to floor at, like, the back of the boat. And you're like, she said this for a reason. Mm-hmm. This is going to come up.
Yep.
There's a desk there, too, and there's a bunch of closed trunks, and there's a bed with a stain on it that she hopes is ale. Gross. So he takes off his hat and his bandana and his coat, and he has a drink, and Risa whispers to Auren to perform, and
it's not not something Auren has ever had to do.
It's not. It's kind of funny, but Risa's really good at it. So she just starts, like, saying, like, you have a lot of belongings, in, like, a super sultry voice, and he just says he's just, like, not having any of it, and he says he doesn't have long, and tells her to strip and get on the bed. And she just, like, changes her tune, and it just says, of course, and, like, does it. And Auren thinks that Risa doesn't belong here. And the captain just, like, pounces on her and, like, pulls her hair to, like, turn her onto her knees and put her face into the bed. And Risa just says that she likes a man who takes charge, and he tells her to be quiet. And he just starts raping her, basically.
Yeah.
And she, she starts to moan because that's the act. And he drags her hair around and puts it in her mouth so that she can't make any noise. And Auren just thinks, like, he's clearly not interested in her pleasure, even if it's faked. So,
yeah, well, I guess that's sort of the difference between
Midas.
Well, like, any of the royals, like, the royals are doing it, yeah, they obviously want to get off, but it seems like they also want this inflated sense of ego of being, like, they want the saddles to be like, oh, you're the best lover ever, sort of a thing. Like, they want their ego stroked as well as their cocks. So, yeah. But Captain Fane, like, you can tell that he gets off on
pain.
Yeah. Like, it's not about, he doesn't care what they think of his sexual prowess.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what it's about for him.
It kind of feels like King, whatever the fuck his name was.
Fulk.
From Fifth.
Fulk,
yeah. Good job. Like, he might have gotten off on a bit of pain,
yes.
too. But, obviously, it's not something that Auren is really, well, I don't know, because what did she go through before? But anyway, it's not something she's used to right now. So Fane hears Risa breathe and says, be quiet. So he doesn't even want to hear her breathing. And he tightens his hold on her mouth. And Auren is just, like, stuck by the door and thinks, like, he's nothing like Midas. And she thinks to herself that she hurts for Risa. It's like, I bet Risa hurts more. I was like, why is she not doing anything?
Yeah. Like, you're literally just standing there watching.
And this was before I realized the issues that I did realize. But I was still like, I feel like she could do something. So Auren's watching, and she thinks, like, Fane is trying to make Risa slip up and make noise so that he can hurt her. And each time he hears a sound, he gets rougher. And Risa's eyes are near tears when they meet Auren's. and she thinks that she can't stand by. And Auren says, Captain, you're hurting her. And he says, yeah, and you're next. And then he slams into Risa so hard that her head hits the headboard. And Auren says, stop it. And he does, but then he just comes for her. And Auren thinks he disrespected Sale's body and now Risa's, and she's at her limit. And he says he wanted quiet, and he backhands her. And she falls, and he kicks her in the ribs, and, like, it's so bad that she's, like, dazed a bit.
Because she's so weak.
He tears... yeah. He tears open her dress, and she curls into a ball, because it's just, like, the front of her dress, so that he can't see her boobs. And he says that Midas obviously didn't know how to train his horse, but he does, and tells her to watch. And then he uses his belt to whip Risa, and then just starts fucking her again. I'm like, Auren, I don't think you helped much. But I get it, because I wanted her to do something.
I just, like, he made such a big deal, like, about fucking her. So, like, why is he fucking Risa right now?
Yeah, why is he warming up? Like, I know. I don't know. You at least think he would, like, be doing something with her as well. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it
just seems weird.
It does seem weird. Like, she is the one you didn't want to sell. She is the one you want to keep to yourself. Why are you not spending this hour only with her?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm glad for plot reasons. Like, I'm glad that... But, like, that's the thing. Not that I'm glad. I'm obviously not glad that Risa is being raped right now. But, like, it feels like it is only for plot reasons. Like, she can't have to deal with rape.
Yeah.
So...
But other girls can. Yeah. So, Auren is on the ground, and she's just like, she thinks she has to stand up, and she knows that the sun is coming, and Risa is crying, and Auren does manage to stand up, and he now has his belt around Risa's throat, and Auren is pissed now, and obviously, like, we're in her head, and she thinks she knows the second the sun rises, and her skin prickles, and she walks into, like, the first rays of sunlight, and Risa looks at her, so the captain does too, and he says he'll have her now if she can't wait and see what the fuss is about. And it's like
okay.
Yeah, but it's also like, yeah, you'd think you would have her now. Like, stupid. So he drops the belt, and Risa's coughing, and he says that he's going to enjoy making Auren hurt, and brings his fist up, but she's faster, and she lands her bare palm on his neck, and that's all it takes. And I will say, before we get into this, there was a point when I was reading this book that I thought that the pirate captain was going to be
the love interest
at the very beginning of when they got kidnapped. I was like, oh, he's the bad guy that's not actually bad. And then we got to this scene, and I was like, oh, shit, he's the bad guy that is awful.
He is not. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's looking at her, and she thinks he's wondering why his hand stopped moving. And he chokes out a last breath. And Risa gasps, and there's a ripple across his skin and moving from his body to his face, which is the last to freeze, because she wants him to see as she turns him solid gold.
Dun, dun, dun!
What? So Auren takes her hand off of him, and he's just a solid gold statue. And Risa's just in shock and says, "What did you do?" Gaping at her in horror. And Auren's like, "I saved your life." She doesn't say that, but I would have.
Yeah.
But Auren asks if she's okay, and she doesn't answer, and Auren's head is hurting, and she has no energy left. But she says that he's much better like this. No talking or moving. And then she says that they could hammer his dick off if Risa would like, which I love. Risa makes a noise and asks how she did it, and then asks if he's dead. And Auren just ignores the first question, but says, yes, he's very dead. And Risa's just like, but King Midas, and Auren knows that, like, she showed her too much. But she doesn't answer any of her questions. And then the floor starts to creak under the weight of this solid gold man. And they know if he goes through the floor, people will notice.
What?
I wonder, like, how high up he is. Because, like, if he's on, like, the top of the boat and it goes through the floor, just smokes somebody with his dick. Be funny.
It would be funny.
So she tells Risa that she can't tell anyone ever. And Risa's just like, you told him to stop hurting me.
Yes.
And then she's like, the last time you tried to help, you chucked a book at me. And Auren's just like, yeah, I'm impulsive. And Risa's like, okay, I'll keep your secret.
Okay. I just, like, I feel like I thought maybe that's next book.
Yeah.
That there was a reasoning gave.
There has to be. I think it is the next book. Like, because they all, yeah.
So, like,
it has to be the next book.
I do think, though, that, like, this is sort of our dun-dun-dun. It was Auren all along, and that's why she's golden.
Yeah. Because if somebody with the gold touch magic actually touches a person, this is what happens.
Yeah.
You can't gold touch people, or they die.
Yes.
So Midas didn't gold touch her. Which is why I think it was like the first or the second week, one of the guards was like, how is she gold touched? And Digby was like, I don't ask questions. And I was like, oh, this is the like, to get us thinking moment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Auren says that they need to hide him before the commander comes back, and Auren tells her to get dressed. And then Auren puts on gloves, and they immediately turn gold. So I'm assuming all the time during the day, if she touches anything, it turns gold.
Yeah.
But with gloves on, she's fine.
Yes. So I think that is how it works. And that was a Midas thing too. Like the original Midas legend, now it wasn't kept to day versus night, but the original Midas legend,
yes.
He couldn't control it. It wasn't optional.
Yeah, he couldn't, but he couldn't touch anything at all without it turning gold, which was kind of the curse of it. So it is, I guess, nice that she can touch things at night.
Well, so
I'd be worried though, like, what if you sleep in and you're sleeping next to somebody and your glove falls
but
off?
like so much starts to make sense, right? Like why they traveled at night instead of the daytime, because she couldn't sit theoretically on a horse. The horse would turn gold. Not that she was supposed to sit on a horse, but like, and there's a reason why. So they're sleeping all day when she can, if your theory is correct, they're sleeping during the day and traveling at night. There's a reason why she has a tent to herself, because she might accidentally touch someone in her sleep and turn them gold. Like, it's not as preferential as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
And like also makes complete sense as to why she's his favorite. Because she's gold touching everything for him.
For him. He doesn't have any magic, presumably.
Yeah. So like...
But that's why I was like, why did he go separately? Because like, obviously he's in Fifth Kingdom now. He can't do shit without her.
I know. And you would think that everyone's going to be like waiting for him to like gold touch stuff. So...
Yeah.
But like, and so like, it just brings new meaning too, to think about her talking about like how the entire castle is now made of gold. Even the toilets are gold. Yeah. And like, shit. So like, he literally had her going. When did he get the chance? Like, when did they do this during the day when no one was around? Like, there's always someone around.
Was he just like, I can't do it without my emotional support pet, and then she would just do it?
Yeah.
Like,
and like,
I guess when you're a king, you can get away with anything without people questioning it.
I guess. And like, think too back to when she passed by the kids and she said, like, I wish the sun was up. I wish I could bathe the streets in gold. Like, she literally meant, I wish I could use my powers right now.
Yeah.
To, like, help these kids. So, like, it makes you go back and, like, be like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Which I really appreciate in books. I love when they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't realize that because, like I said, I completely forgot that it was just a daytime thing. So I was just like, why is she just watching Risa being, like, fucked right now and not doing anything?
Like, she could have also knocked him unconscious. Like, she literally could have gotten, apparently he has a huge collection of shit. Couldn't she have gotten something heavy off of one of his shelves and just been like, bonk?
You would think so. So yeah, she puts on a coat then to, like, keep her dress done up. Risa asks what now, and Auren looks from Fane to the window, but Risa says it isn't possible, but it's their only option. And he can't be found like this. So they tie 2 sheets around his neck, and they open both windows. And then they pull together, but nothing happens. Auren then kicks him, which just hurts her. And Risa says that that was a stupid idea. But Auren says that it was worth it. So Risa punches his dick, and then she agrees it was worth it. Which I appreciate. Auren then sees a hook on the wall and wraps the sheet around the hook and tells Risa to get a chair and push his head while she uses it as pulley. And I do dislike, I don't know, Risa's just like, what are you doing? How is that going to work? It just feels like she's just not very bright on purpose. And it's like, why?
Yeah, but I mean, she hasn't had to cultivate her brain.
Other than to make herself what every man in the room wants. Yeah, but still, I'm like...
And, let's be honest, for most of the shitty men that they're surrounding themselves with, which one of those shitty men values intelligence?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe that's why she was chosen. But it's just like, ugh, of course. But the plan basically is that Auren's going to use a pulley on that to try to get more weight, and then Risa's going to push his head so that he topples forward, and gravity's going to push him outside. So Auren grabs the sheet, and she uses the 4 of her ribbons that are free, now that she's fought with them, to pull, and she pulls with all of her might, and she thinks either she's going to topple or black out, and she's struggling. And then she just starts to kind of doubt herself, and she's like, they can't do it, and she fucked up by killing him, and she's like, but if anyone finds him, like, if the secret gets out, Midas is screwed. But she's also, if you thought Midas was bad, keeping her in a cage and quote-unquote loving her, then what is somebody who just is using her in the exact same way, but not quote-unquote loving her gonna be like? Midas is also shit. But anyway, so she keeps pulling, and she pulls with all that she can, but then the sheet starts to rip, and the floor creaks again. And she's like, fuck. But then her ribbons start to glow, and they start to come alive with, like, a second wind. And they wrap around the captain's torso, and they pull with so much force that she thinks that they're going to snap her spine. But the ribbons take it over the edge, and they tip him out the window. And he lands in the snow, and Risa says that it's a fitting end. And then Auren grabs the chest of gold, and Risa helps her throw it out. And then Risa's like, why did we do that? And Auren's like, it's motive. I don't know. I guess they needed to tell the reader what she was doing, but I just felt like we made Risa way too dumb in this one part. And she hasn't seemed this dumb the rest of the book.
Good point.
But it's not really the point. But Auren basically says that it's going to be the motive, and she hopes that they're going to buy her story. And that they'll leave before someone sees him. And she thinks how, like, Fane is rich now. And he'll always have his pants around his ankles, which is fitting.
Love that.
Which is just kind of funny. I'm like, it seems like it seems like 6th and 5th Kingdom are always covered in snow. So, like, he may never be found.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Risa asks if Auren's all right, but she knows that was only half of the battle. So a pirate knocks on the door and says that the commander's coming back, and Auren tells Risa to tie her wrists to the bedpost and to mess up her dress. So she does that, and then Auren lies on the floor by the bed and uses her ribbon to, like, pretend tie herself to the bed. And she hikes up her skirt and, like, opens her coat so that you can see a little bit of skin. And she's like, hopefully they'll just ignore everything else. And she tells Risa that if she can cry on command, that now is a good time. And Risa just says, of course she can. And I'm like, I love it. I love it so much.
It's like, what are you kidding? Of course I can. Like, don't be dumb.
Yeah. The pirates outside are yelling, and Risa kind of, like, they're already tied up. Risa motions that they forgot the hat and the coat. So Captain Fane's hat and coat are still there.
Yeah.
So that's...
sketch.
Yeah. But it's too late. So Quarter and 2 pirates come in, and they ask where the captain is. And Risa just starts loudly sobbing, which I love. And Auren knows that she looks terrified because she is terrified. And she says that he tied them up and took the coin and snuck out. And Quarter asks where the trunk is, and the 2 pirates say that they laid it there at a point in the room, but it's gone. And Quarter just kicks a barrel and says he took it and left. And a pirate asks how, but Quarter says that he must have been planning it for a while and either took a fireclaw or had help from the 4th soldiers. And then Quarter's just like, I'll kill him if I ever see him again. And you're like, oh my god, they're so stupid, and they're buying it immediately. Yeah. Which I guess pirates, maybe that's fair. Maybe they just fuck each other over all the time. One of the other pirates says the commander's getting impatient, and Quarter says if they don't have the money, because the captain took it, / it's outside next to his body, or the whores, they're gonna have a mutiny. But he does say the commander paid for them, so they need to give it to them, or the 4th soldiers are gonna kill them too. So, like, they're really in a hard place here. So he tells Risa and Auren to come with him. But then, I guess the 3rd pirate asks why the captain left his coat. And Quarter just, like, turns on them, and he's like, what the fuck? So he asks Auren what's going on, and she says that she doesn't know, and says maybe he was in a hurry.
Yeah, not the best cover-up.
No. But he's just like, he tells them that he knows that they're lying. And Auren is obviously, after all the magic and the day and the trauma, is just exhausted. And she's ready to collapse. And she just has nothing left to, like, spin a lie. She's done. Quarter says if she doesn't start talking, he'll stuff her useless mouth and fill her with so much cum he'll corrode her plated pussy.
Ugh.
And then he asks what happened. But she can't come up with anything. And Quarter says that he'll make her talk, but a voice says, what do you think you're doing? And of course, it's Commander Rip. And he's super menacing, and there's 2 guards with him, and he tells Quarter to move away from the favored now. And Quarter says that she's lying, and he's going to finish this conversation first. And Auren's just like, oh shit. He's standing up to him. And Risa whimpers, like she's worried they're going to be caught in between a fight. And I think like Quarter's pirates, like, grab their swords. So it's like, this is not a great place to be. But then Commander Rip just starts to laugh. And Auren thinks it's the laugh of a madman. And Auren realizes that this is the mail that King Ravager unleashes on Aurea. And, like, he's unhinged. basically. And she thinks Quarter realizes that too at the same time. And he just says, take her, because he can't trust the words from a whore's mouth anyway. And also, he was great.
I mean, like, valid point. I'm pretty sure that I've actually gotten that advice before. Like, if something's sketchy is starting to go on, just start laughing maniacally.
Oh. Okay.
Like, legit, I've gotten that advice. If some guys are being sketchy, like, literally just start maniacally laughing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. I was like, did you mean you got the advice that you can't trust the words that have a whore's mouth? Like, I was like, what advice are you talking about?
I don't know if I have any personal experience with that one.
No, I just didn't know where you were going with it. So Rip just says, good choice, and Quarter walks away. And Rip just tells Risa and Auren to follow him, and the soldiers go with them, and they walk up past the red raids who glare at them. And I'm like, why? And they walk past where they strung up sail, and she wants to spit at them, but they get to the ramp, and she's just too exhausted. She's already done too much. She can't deal with it. So she's going down the ramp, and she trips, and she pushes herself to the side so that she doesn't tumble into Risa. And she lands hard on her hands and knees on the ground. She basically just, like, flew off the side of the ramp. Like, not very smart. But luckily it was, like, pretty close to the ground, and her ribbons helped catch her. She thinks, like, she needs to get up, obviously, but she hears a whip, and then the fire claw's moving, and the ship just starts pulling away. And I'm like, did they even pull up the ramp? They're just
gone.
Gone. Like, zooting out of here. That's not what I meant to say. Zipping out of here? Don't know what I was looking for. But beyond the ship, she sees hundreds, maybe thousands of fourth soldiers, and she realizes that that's why Fane didn't fight any of Rip's offer, because of how many soldiers are around.
Same with the commander, or the quartermaster, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Quarter. That's just all they've called him, with a capital Q.
Really? I've just been thinking he's the quartermaster, which is what I keep calling him over and over again. Quartermaster.
They've been just calling him Quarter, I think.
I just thought that... I always thought it was short for quartermaster, so that's why I've been calling him the quartermaster. Because he seems to be the second in command.
That makes sense. That's funny. I didn't get that at all, but that's fine. So she kind of in her head knows that this is King Ravenger's army, and they're coming to wage war against Midas, which is Midas's fault. She doesn't think that, though. Or, I don't know if she does think that or not. She doesn't think that in this moment. She knows what happened. But she thinks that she's a shiny bargaining chip, and she feels like she could be sick in this moment. Because, like, she knows how important she is to Midas, because she's the one with the golden touch.
Yeah, and she also knows that he'll do pretty much anything to get her back, including sacrificing a ton of innocent people.
Yes. But because of her power, I believe. Not because of...
Which, like, and I guess this sort of adds to the manipulation part, is, like, I find it very interesting and odd that she doesn't recognize him using her for her power, or the fact that he wants to keep her close because of her power. Yeah. Like, how does she not see that?
Yeah, very true. So she sees black boots in front of her, and then the commander says, well, this is very interesting. And she looks up, and his helmet is off. And he has no horns, no glowing eyes, and no scars. And his irises are black, and he has tiny spikes above his eyebrows. And he has a strong and straight nose and white teeth and slightly elongated canines. And subtle gray scales down his temples to his cheekbones, which is just interesting, and I did not remember. And then he has thick black hair and a beard, which I didn't remember.
I also didn't remember. I like it, though.
Yeah. And he has subtly pointed ears. And she's on the ground right now, but she's like, he must be 6.5 feet tall, and he's all muscle.
How are you appraising him with such, like...
Exactly! And he has an aura ripe with menace.
Oh my God. But she's exhausted. Can't even walk down a gangplank.
Yeah. And he's terrifying and very, very fey. And she thinks the rest of Auren might ignore it, but she can't. And I'm like, is that a fey thing? Like, because she's definitely got more fey than other people. Whatever. Aurea, so their continent or whatever, feels betrayed by the Fae, and that's why all of the rulers need magic to be able to rule. In case they come back, they'll be able to fight them. I don't know what gold touching things. I guess if you cold touch somebody during the day, they would turn gold.
If somebody attacks you, all you gotta do is give them a little boop.
As long as it's daytime.
Yes.
So she wonders if King Ravager realizes what kind of beast he has on his leash and the power he has, and she feels vulnerable with him looking at her ribbons. So she pushes herself up, and her ribbons lay limp behind her. And they just stand there and stare at each other for a while. And she thinks she wouldn't call him handsome. And I'm like, you're thinking the word handsome, you'd call him handsome. Because he's too wicked for that. But his feralness is as magnificent as it is alarming. Okay. And then he says, so this is King Midas's pet. And she doesn't like being called a pet. And he says he didn't expect to find a goldfinch.
What is that?
Interesting. So
yeah, like, is that the name of her power, or is that just a nickname?
I assume it's what she is. Like, I assume he's been to the Fae place. Like, is he... I don't know, is he thousands of years old, or is he like, has he made it across in the more recent years or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he calls her a goldfinch, and I just assumed it was the name of people that turn things gold and have ribbons. Because it seemed like he was surprised by the ribbons. And she just says that she knows what he is.
Doesn't everybody, like, I don't understand this threat from her. I know what you are. Doesn't everybody?
Well, I guess that he's Fae, because nobody else seems to recognize it, even though they should.
So how does she?
Because she's just been saying that she does. I don't know.
All right.
But it's also like, he could still be the descendant of Fae. Like, he could just be... If two Fae in the human world got together and had a baby there, it would be a Fae, but they would live here. Like, he could just be like, I don't know. I don't understand her differentiating between him being Fae and everyone else that has magic. Like, are they not Fae?
No, I think there are humans with magic, aren't they?
Yeah, but I assume it's just because they're descendants from the Fae. So they're still, like, it's still all Fae magic. I don't know why she thinks this means something. I just
don't understand how no one else could have made the leap that he's Fae. He's got a scaly face, little spikes coming out of his eyebrows. He's 6.5 feet tall and has a shit ton of magic and pointy ears and, like, pointy canines. Not one other person in the world seen him and was like, he kind of looks Fae. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess we don't know he has magic, though.
You're right. But the whole rippling menace thing, like, dark, it makes it seem like
we're sure
he's going to have some sort of shadow magic. Come on, because we all love a shadow daddy.
We do love a shadow daddy.
So, like, that's my issue with it, is how is this a threat? Because how does nobody else know that he's Fae? Like,
yeah,
other people should know.
Yeah. I don't, yeah. I don't know, man. It's something.
Yeah.
Are they just oblivious? Does he kill everybody so nobody really knows what he looks like? Like, I don't know. Because all the pirates know what he looks like. Anyway, not the point. He then says that did I say he moves closer to her and overwhelms her? Because of course he does. Because the proximity.
Yeah, and I bet you she thinks he smells nice, even though she doesn't. She doesn't say it.
She doesn't say it.
But Garrett.
But she's probably going to in the next book. And he says that he was about to say the same to her, that he knows what she is. And I think that's much more important.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we leave Auren for this book. But we end off with Midas's point of view.
Do we have to?
I guess so. So it just kind of starts, and he says he's been to all of the kingdoms, and we get that, like, seems like it goes from warm to cold. So the first is a jungle with fools who think they can make art or some shit, and like you're like, obviously he doesn't care about art. The second is sandy with boring Puritan leaders, and the third has coasts with private islands that you need to be invited to by the monarchs. And the only downfall with third is that they border fourth. And he holds no interest at all in fourth.
Lies, you wanted the mines.
But he's saying that he doesn't, because I think Falk wanted the mines. So I don't think he has any interest in fourth. I think he was just trying to get Falk killed. But then he thinks like he's fond of fifth, and I'm like, doesn't fifth also border fourth? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the problem you had with third. How is fifth any different? I should look at a map before I make these claims, but I assume. But he thinks he's fond of Fifth Kingdom, and he looks out of his balcony, and there are like ice sculptures, and he thinks how good they'll look in gold. And the cold here is milder than 6 because it's less stormy, so they're actually able to have sculptures. And he's currently living in the visiting monarch's suite, but he isn't planning to stay visiting. He obviously wants to rule, and that's kind of
why. Yeah, it's why he's there.
Yeah. Someone comes in and gives him a letter, and he has to read it 3 times. And by the time he finishes that, he's seeing red. And the guy, Odo, says, "Sire," and he responds, "They have her." And he's just like, who has who? And Midas gets up and, like, swipes everything off of the desk, and guards come running because they think that there's, like, an intruder. And Midas punches the wall, but he doesn't feel the pain because his favored, his gilded, his precious has been stolen. Ugh. And he thinks of the precision of his planned annihilation against King Fulk is going to be nothing compared to those who dared take Auren from him. Because she is his, and he'll destroy everyone in his path to get her back.
Yikes.
Which is, like, so funny, because it's exactly what we want from books when we actually like the man.
It's true.
But it also doesn't... The ending doesn't tell me if he thinks the pirates have her or the fourth soldiers.
Correct.
Like, it's very... Whatever word I'm looking for.
Ambiguous.
Like, it could be either. Yes, that's the word. Yeah. And then we do end with a poem.
That's nice.
Which, yeah. Yeah. So that's the book. It kind of ends where I thought it ended, after I remembered a few things. And I love the twist in the book. I love that she's the one with the power and Midas is...
not.
Yeah. I like that take on it.
Yeah, I do too. And, like, I just appreciate that it's a woman who gets the power this time.
Yeah. Agreed.
Hopefully, though. So remember how, like, and again, neither of us have finished the series, so, like, we have no idea what's going to happen. But hopefully we don't have another one of those instances where the woman always loses her power when she's too powerful.
I know. Yeah.
So, like...
Although, I guess in this book I would feel a little differently about it, because, like, she doesn't really care about the gold. Like, obviously the story is about the greed of Midas and the greed of other people. If she wants the power to be gone because she doesn't want to have the gold touch everything. Like, I can understand her wanting that, kind of like, you know, King Midas in the original story obviously would rather not have that power after he got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, I guess, do you have any other thoughts or anything?
I mean, I don't really know, because this book, like, the first time we read it, I liked it, which is why I moved on to the second one and eventually halfway through the third one.
Yeah, like we immediately.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, it kind of ends off and you're like, oh shit, it's one of these books. It ends off and you're like, I need to read the next one immediately. So, yeah. But yeah, I liked the twist at the end. You can clearly tell that Rip isn't going to be, I think, Rip isn't going to be as bad as all the other men.
Well, he's not going to he's not going to want her to turn into, like, just a cum bucket. Which is what all the other guys are threatening.
And have all said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Yay. So, yeah, I guess that is going to wrap it up for this week. If you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, you can reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So next week, we're going to be reading a new book. We're going holiday with it because it's December. We are reading A Court of Sugar and Spice, which is a Nutcracker retelling. Thank you. We're going to be reading chapters 1 to 7, so make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.
Oh.